Hello, you lovely people. Welcome to the channel. It's Rad. For those who doesn't know me, I do interpret tarot cards. And tonight's interpretation is going to be all about the new moon in Leo, which is happening on the 5th of February, meaning 3 days from now. To be more precise, 5th of February, 1:28 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is when the moon becomes full in Leo. And I just hung up a phone call with Pisces Moonbeam. She was about explaining me the astrology behind it, the most important part of it, not the whole thing, because it's a pretty big ingression, so to speak. There are so many aspects to it, and I'm certain that if she haven't already made a post on her page, which you, by the way, should definitely check, she's about to make one. So, but long story short, for the full moon in Leo, there is a T-square, which is happening. What is a T-square? Well, the moon is making a square to Uranus. That's one. Uranus is making a square to the sun. And the sun and the moon are making an opposition. So basically it looks like a triangle, but actually it's called a T-square. Long story short about that T-square is that this full moon is going to bring quite of an unexpected circumstances, and also in some cases as well enterprises. Where? Well, Uranus is in Taurus, Taurus ruled by Venus, so Venetian themes, relationships, money, and as well, that is my personal expression here. Personal values. Okay, personal values as well. So that said, we may have a conflict with what is happening, right? And what we want to happen. It's just our plans are going to change, or they are going to be forcefully changed, and we will have to pretty much roll with it. Okay, moving forward. So that said, in that full moon in Leo, I don't know. I mean, to me at least, when she was talking to me about that, I was thinking, well, I guess you are a very, very lucky person if your relationship currently is at the rock bottom, because what possibly can change if your relationship is at the rock bottom, right? Unless being improved at the end of the day. Now, for those of you who are having a very nice relationship, the change doesn't have to be a bad one. It is going to be an unexpected one. And when something is happening that you cannot understand, right, and you are not prepared for, it's irritating, is it not? But at the end of the day, it doesn't have to be something bad. It just is going to be aggravating. Yeah, it could end quickly as well. Well, in that particular case, Pisces Moonbeam, yeah, exactly. But if it ends quickly, it's again an improvement, right? At the end of the day, you are ending up an agony, right? You are ending up a suffering that all people are suffering into it. Jasmine, thank you so much for your $19.99 super chat. Thank you, Jasmine. At the end of the stream, you're going to have your personalized reading for the full moon, how the full moon in Leo is going to affect you personally. And the situation is not much different when it comes to the tarot cards. Now, if you had paid attention to the thumbnail that I placed for the stream, the cards for the full moon are as follows. We do have the Ace of Wands. Thank you, Carol. Yeah, it was a ordinary day, and I consider that as a good one. Then the second one, it is the Queen of Pentacles. followed by the Wheel of Fortune. And here we can see those different circumstances and enterprises with those two prime positions of the Ace of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune. The fourth one, that will be Temperance. And the final one that we have, it will be the Hierophant. Okay, so the Hierophant itself, being on the very last position, it's a testament that what is happening, we may not like it, but it's for the greater good. Because the Hierophant is in a position saying the energies which are to support us. So that is like an adjustment to our code of conduct. That is like an adjustment to our beliefs. That is like an adjustment to what we can rely on, not just only as people, but also as a assets, as a resources as well. And although there will be a change of direction, that's most definitely, we can see that within those two cards here, all right? The Ace of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. Now, first and foremost, the Queen of Pentacles being into the second position, it shows that there is no more potential in a shape and form as the shape and form stands right now. So there needs to be a movement, okay? There needs to be a movement in our love life. There needs to be a movement into our career. Now, when I say movement, that doesn't mean from one thing to another. It could mean one thing becomes another, all right? Like, for example, just dating becomes more a relationship, or just working for someone becomes a partnership, or becomes working for at a better position, and so on and so forth. Long story short, this energy which says that the potential, there is no more potential anymore, unlocks the energy of the Ace of Wands. And what the Ace of Wands is really, guys, well, I will say it by a keyword. I hate saying it that way, but it's a gainingful enterprise, right? So that full moon is going to bring to us an enterprise which will be different from what our expectations, but at the end of the day is going to be a gainful one. Like with Pisces Moonbeam, just we said, both of us. If your relationship hits the rock bottom, it either gonna break or improve. Both ways, you win, right? It's a gainful enterprise, it's a gainful breakthrough, so to speak. Because in one way, you are going to be in a flourishing relationship. In another way, you ain't gonna waste your time anymore, and you ain't gonna be in an agony. What is important here, though, it is when this, let's put it that way, new path opens up, all right, under the energy of the Ace of Wands, now that's quite difficult to be explained, because it will be something we are unaccustomed to. It will be a path we are unaccustomed, position we are unaccustomed to, all right, a status we are unaccustomed to, or an environment that we are unaccustomed to. But what we do not know is that it comes natural to us. It is just up until this point we never need, or had the need rather, to be in such a state. So we don't know, can we handle it or not? And we can handle it with so much efficiency, so to speak, and make the best out of it with almost a bare minimum effort. Now, the Wheel of Fortune, very exciting card, you know, but it only says that this change, it will look like a curse. It will look like something, the last thing we need right now, but actually it is that circumstances that happen once in a lifetime that can drive your life in a direction which is gonna be the best one, right? And it happens again once in a lifetime. Major full moon in, or rather full moon, that is the end of an agony and a beginning of a thriving endeavor, for a lack of a better word. And what we need to learn, which is shown here by the temperance, right? By the temperance, it is that, you know, sometimes the best course of action is not the one we want, it's not the one we like, but that doesn't make it not the best one, right? And with the temperance, the lesson is very abstract. So basically what the card shows is that we are about to find the right way forward for our personal life, right? For our personal life. That means that if our job right now is holding us back, we may love the job, but at the end of the day, that's not something which will allow us to progress forward, and therefore it simply has to go, right? And that is exactly the change happening here, for example. Or relationship wise, it could be vice versa, that no matter how much, you know, difficult the job is, or the or our love relationship is, it is the one that is going to thrive our life, and therefore we have to make everything we can to sustain it. That will be very personal for each one of us, but whichever the case, at the end, whatever path we find forward, because that is definitely about the path forward toward a gainful, toward the manifestation of a gainful enterprise, right? Whatever one we find is going to be the one that completely reciprocates with our beliefs, moral code, and whatever results we do accomplish from it are going to be results we can truly rely on, trust in, and love. Because at the end of that road, which may be in a year or two from now, because that is just the beginning of it, right? We're going to freaking love our place. That's how the general reading, or rather like the collective reading, pretty much stands. Now, a few notes about the show before we move forward, guys. Like I said, for anyone who doesn't know me, I'm Rad, and what I do is I do interpret tarot cards for a living. Pisces Moonbeam, it is the astrologer. You can chat with her in the stream chat. But with that said, now there are going to be 12 readings, 12 tarot readings, one for each star sign, starting up from Aries, and I'm going to end up with a Pisces as usual. And also throughout those readings, there are going to be three free readings giveaway. So that means that 3 of you can have a free reading with me. One is going to have it after Cancer, another one after Scorpio, and the last one is going to be after Pisces. So all that you gotta do to have a free reading with me, which is that is the only way you can have one, is stay up until I do announce a break. And after I do so, you can ask a question you want me to read for with my tarot cards. And I usually give about 5 minutes questions to accumulate. And Pisces Moonbeam is gonna pick one of your questions. I'm gonna read for. I'm gonna read tarot cards for that question. Other than that, if you do want to have a personal reading with me, you can always go to my website, which link you're going to find in the description down below. And if you do decide to support the stream and the channel through Super Chat, because you like the content, I suppose, you are going to have a reading at the end of the stream. That's pretty much guaranteed. So, with that said, starting up first with Aries, you can track which star sign we are reading for here. That is the glyph of the star sign we are reading for. So Aries goes first, and let me shuffle the cards. So for Aries, first one, that will be the Four of Pentacles. Let me get a little bit closer. so I can show you the cards a little bit better. All right. So first one, Four of Pentacles, followed by the Four of Cups. Moving on forward, we do have the Page of Cups. Afterwards, that will be the Six of Swords. And the final one, that's going to be the King of Cups. So for Aries, this expect the unexpected. It will materialize in regards to their rewards, okay, in regards to their accomplishments and their achievements. For what those cards are showing, there are two ways how it can play out, guys. One of the ways it is that someone may approach you on a basis of your current accomplishments and offer you a deal in regards to them. Just to give you an example, good evening, Anna, welcome to the stream. So just to give you an example, you are scoring really good results and really good accomplishments in your work, and a competitor's company offers you a better conditions going and working for them. That is the example that I'm going to give you. That's one way how that's a full moon can manifest for you. Or the other way how it can manifest is that you can kind of like come up to the conclusion that you are now professional enough in regards to your results, that you do not need any more, let's put it that way, someone to hold your hand. Now that could manifest entirely within career and within relationship. Within relationship, we do have an emotional bind. Emotional bind in a sense that you may bind yourself emotionally with either people or with either yourself. And that way, based on what your emotional bind is going to be, to face a future which will be the one that you would like to have rather than the one that you are expected to be a part of. Okay, so that will be the difference. That will be the difference for you. Either cases or all of the cases, how the way that this manifests is going to be difficult to establish, or rather like to initiate, not to establish, but to initiate for you, Aries, because it seems that you will. It's not giving up from. It's more like an impression that you do so. Stability, but in reality, you have your future ensured and certain, and therefore there is nothing for you to be afraid of. That is the lesson that you need to learn, a part of the lesson that you need to learn. That at the end of the day, you don't have much to sacrifice at all. So doing nothing is actually worse than doing anything. And the other one is that no matter how much you dream about something, if you do not do something about it, that something isn't happening at all. So listen to your emotions, Aries. That is what those cards are showing here, and see where those emotions are dragging you to, are leading you toward. And while there could be a resistance from the outer world in a sense of, you know, friends of yours does not approve it, family members does not approve it, it all comes to does your heart approves it. If your heart approves it, it's the one you should go for. So that was Aries. Moving on, next we do have Taurus. The Hierophant for Taurus is the first card, followed by the Page of Cups again. Moving on, next we do have the Eight of Wands. Afterwards is going to be the King of Cups. And the final one, we do have the Six of Wands. So here, the unexpected aspect for you, Taurus, it will be exactly how Pisces Moonbeam express herself right in the heart. In a sense of that it will touch your own personal topics, reliability, trust, okay, zone of comfort, and again, expectancy, so to speak, beliefs also. So what happens is that not that much of a material change is going to take place, but emotional one, meaning that you are going to start doubting, okay, your own heart. You're going to start doubting, do you really love the person you are with? Does this has a future? Is that job really for you, or are you really for the job? And so on and so forth. Again, that is just a doubt. Okay, that is a doubt. So it's very, very important that you do what you do best. Look things from the material perspective. Do I have a benefit being a part of? If yes, I should stick. If not, I should not. Okay. And once you do extinguish the emotional drive, so to speak, then the accomplishments you currently have are going to be glaring, meaning that it will be undeniable what is the best place for you to be at, whether into your love life or whether into your career. And that is, by the way, the lesson that you need to learn with the King of Cups. King of Cups, it is the master of the emotions. It tames the emotions, and therefore you must learn to do so rather than acting spontaneously, how people say intuitively. Okay, that is another way of saying it. And emotionally as well. Other than that, it does look like that's your environment is going to be very, very dynamic, and probably this dynamic is going to be the reason why you will feel insecure and you will doubt the sources of that stability you do have, for as much as you have it. But the dynamic, it's in a very superficial level, in a sense of that there aren't things you can jeopardize going for it, having fun or going out for a coffee or two, you know, or just talking with people that you haven't talked up until this now. It's just that superficial dynamic that always offers you something to do, although it may not be something meaningful for you to do. So bottom line here, Taurus, for you is that you are on the right track and don't have to change a bit anything about, at least for now, about your environment. And that will be this full moon in Leo. It will be a testament how much you do believe in what you have established thus far. All right, that was Taurus. Next, we do have Gemini. Hello, Tammy. Welcome to the stream. Nine of Swords for Gemini, followed by the Five of, that's the five, yeah, the Five of Swords. Moving on next, we do have the Five of Pentacles. Afterwards is the Six of Wands. And the final one is going to be the Ace of Swords. The Knight of Swords, I'm sorry. There is quite of a quite much to it. So let's go over the unpleasant stuff. First and foremost, trust no one in that full moon in Leo. I mean, your trust being betrayed, it is one of the first topics we do have here. One of the first topics. And because the Nine of Swords rather sits on the prime of your reading, that betrayal may bring a dire consequences, like, you know, a secret you do have which could damage lives of many. For example, it could be leaked from someone that you have trusted. That is just for example, right? So next, it is on the 5th, yes, Anna. So next few days to a couple of weeks, you better keep your mouth shut. Don't share anything with anyone of importance, right? Don't share anything of importance with anyone, because that betrayal of a trust may happen even unconsciously. That person may not wish to betray you, but that thing may just slip out from their words. Or maybe someone that reads very well in between lines, it could figure it out, and so on and so forth. So verbally, and when it comes to communication for you, Gemini, it's best to keep your mouth shut. That's definitive here about those cards. On the other front, when it comes to progress, when it comes to results, when it comes to breakthroughs and establishments, whether love life or whether business one, it's those couple of weeks which are marked by the full moon in Leo will require from you to face your predicaments. I mean, there will be no way for you to bypass them anymore or to pretend that they are not around anymore. You will have to stand against them, and unless you do take full responsibility for your part of the guilt, because you are also guilty of it, right? Especially when it comes to love and relationship, the guilt is always in both of the participants, one way or another. But that's besides the point. Here you also carry on a guilt for the predicaments and the problems that either your business is facing or your relationship is facing, or whatever way or whatever the case, and you will have to face the consequences of your guilt. And once that happens, then you will have to change a certain aspects of your lifestyle, and this is where that change comes about. This expect the unexpected comes about, because you may not expect that you will have to change your approach or your lifestyle about one thing or another, but if you want it to happen, you will have to. Of course, that is up to you to decide. You may say, you know what, I am stubborn as hell and I ain't changing for anyone. Well, then I guess you ain't gonna have it. And that's pretty much about it. This full moon in Leo for you is about taking on responsibility and righting the wrong. Simple as that. The lesson that you will need to learn here is that while accomplishments are a good thing, okay, the whole question is how those accomplishments can be, for the lack of a better word or better expression, I will say, cashed in for more. All right, so that was Gemini. Now moving on, next we do have Cancer. King of Swords for Cancer is the first one, followed by the Knight of Pentacles. It's the second card. Moving on, next we do have the Nine of Pentacles. Afterwards, that will be the Eight of Wands. And the final one, it will be the Five of Wands. Yeah. Anna, thank you for your $20 US. Very good reading for Cancer. Hold on a second. Anna, let me put you into the list, girl. Hello, Artemis. And Yada. Welcome to the stream. A very good one for Cancer. So what we have, this is going to be an unexpected opportunity for you. Well, as the King of Swords stands, unexpected opportunity for two things, or one of the two things, to make a use of or to resolve issues, or to make use of a thing that's you don't see a reason to have. So how can I put it into words? That is like, you know, a person suddenly bump into your social circle and you don't see really a point that person being there. But as the full moon happens, you do realize that person could be very useful about something. So it's kind of like making a use of everything that it is around you, which is going to help you. I do apologize. Which is going to help you to, for lack of a better word, I'm going to say excel. So what this full moon in Leo is really all about for you, Cancer, is to skip. So imagine that whatever target you do have, it has its steps that you have to conquer, right? It has its phases. Well, that full moon will reveal in front of you the recipe to skip certain steps of the way. And especially if you do have a competition, you will definitely have to cover less ground. Imagine it is like a race, but you have a secret shortcut that is gonna bring you far faster to the finish line. Okay. So where is the issue really? Okay, well, the issue is that the circumstances surrounding the breakthrough, the unexpected enterprise, are going to feel very random. It will feel very chaotic. It will be probably in the least convenient time at the least convenient place, but alas, it will be very important that you do take them. A good thing though, Cancer, is that if you do miss them first time, they will reappear one more time or couple of more times. So this is not like with, I don't know, with Aries, was it, where you just have to take it now or never. That's not the case for you. Those sudden turnarounds are gonna be left, right, and center all around you, and basically whenever you do feel ready, you can take an advantage of it. But makes no mistake, it will require a professional touch as well. So that may require an involvement of a lawyer, business advisor, a physician, therapist, whatever the case, right? Whatever your subject is, it will require a professional touch to move forward. And that whole thing, basically, it's what was I about to say? It's a leap into your development. So there are a few parables left since Bulgaria was a part of the Ottoman Empire. And one of them, it is that the Pasha loves the bold, meaning that you are rewarded and you are the favorite of the Sultan or the Pasha should you be bold. And that is what is required from you moving forward. You see your chance, you take it. Cancer. Uh, but before that, you consult yourself with professional, or I don't do it in a stupid way. Ashley, thank you so much for your $4.99 US. Thank you. Do you have any specific topic you want me to look for your reading, or just a reading? All right, now the first free reading is going to take place. Should any one of you wants to have a free reading with me, now is the moment you can claim one. In order to do so, all you gotta do is just input a question into the comments down below. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to do so, and after those 5 minutes, I'm going to Pisces Moonbeam is going to pick one of your questions, and I'm going to perform a professional reading on it. It is a good one, yeah. All right, actually, in that particular case, is going to be your personal experience for the full moon in Leo. Well, you can ask one as well if you want to. The super chat, it is not related to the free readings, okay? Few times people get both. Two and a half minutes, guys. You love tequila? Well, I don't drink alcohol, so I can't help you with that. I can't say do I love it or not. But I rather say no. Yeah, Tammy, that's more of a question for Pisces Moonbeam rather than for me. Alright, Pisces Moonbeam, you can pick one question. Pick Danny. Feeling suspicion of a friend, what can you tell me about them? Hello, Michelle. Welcome to the stream. Those are the 3 cards, Danny. Well, first they definitely don't tell you everything, but not because they're lying. It's because you never asked. That is basically how these elemental dignities operate. Another thing about that, friend, is that they are always gonna do what they think is right, rather than what they think it's ethical or ethical, so to speak. Another thing for those cards, it is that they... How can I put it into words? They never do things without... Not without a reason, more like without an incentive. So there must be always anything into it for them so they can participate. Otherwise, they aren't going to. There is always a premeditation, so to speak, into their actions one way or another. Now, does this relate to you personally? Most likely, yes, but at the end of the day, well, let's put it that way, Danny. For as long as you're on their better side or on their better half, then you have nothing to worry about, okay? The problems are gonna become if you are on their worse side or into their bitter side, so to speak. But other than that, he's just a person who tends to care for themselves first and foremost before they actually be true to the friends that they have. For at the end of the day, the emperor doesn't have any friends. The emperor only concerns itself with their empire, which is their domain, and is ready to sacrifice anyone should the domain be threatened for the sustenance of their domain. Well, should that be the case, just walk away. Well, if you haven't threatened them in any way, okay, if you haven't threatened them in any way, then that person ain't gonna do anything. That they only do things when they feel threatened. All right, so just don't press the issue. Don't threaten them. right? Don't threaten their relationship, don't threaten their business, don't threaten their friendships, don't threaten them in any way. A couple of minutes, guys, and then moving to the next four star signs, which are going to be Leo, Virgo, Libra, and then Scorpio. Then the second free reading, then another four star signs, then the last free reading, and after that the super chat readings. So should any one of you decides to support the stream and the channel through super chat, you're gonna have your reading at the end of the stream. That's pretty much guaranteed. And should your reading, should your super chat be $20 or above, the reading is going to be that very same 5-card spread reading, which I am doing, or a spread that I'm doing for the star signs themselves. All right, next, Leo. The moon for Leo, followed by the magician. Afterwards is the Ace of Cups. The fourth one, it is the Two of Cups. Then it is the Devil. Those 5 cards. So whatever these unexpected circumstances are going to be, they will most definitely affect your personal life, aka your love life, your relationship life. And I will, in a certain way, drive you crazy. It's because that magician stands on the second position, and the Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups, I'm sorry, does stands on the third one. Both of these kind of like contributing to one another, meaning that in the same way, you will hate that you don't know what is going on, and you love it for what it is. Okay? No different than someone that you do have an interest in, which are driving you crazy, but in the same time shows you that your interest is gonna pay off. Okay, it's getting there, but you don't have any control over the situation, which is kind of like driving you nuts. Bottom line here for you, Leo, is that many of the circumstances which are surrounding, you know, your environment, surrounding your situation, will be unknown. It's basically, you wouldn't be able to put a reason why one thing is taking place or another. And it's how it is supposed to be. It's because you're not supposed to know them, because if you do know them, you can change them, and that will deviate you from the path that you are walking, which is the path that you are destined to be at, right? It's the pathway that you are destined to take. That is how the moon card manifests for you. And why things are not happening your way this time around? Well, that is related to the question you need to learn. And I don't know if that's gonna break any bubbles, or is gonna burst any bubbles, but you need to learn that when it comes to interactions and in their acme love, right, it's not only about you. Okay, so you need to learn to give, right, like to express your feelings, your attitude, without attaching it to your pride, without attaching it to your ego, depriving it from your shyness as well. And basically, whenever it comes to the person you are interested in, you have to be naked. Not just only physically, but also emotionally. You gotta strip off your soul, or strip up your soul, whatever you want to call it. So how do you know which is the right path for you then? Well, it seems that it's going to be the one that you do have an insatiable hunger toward, right? So whichever person you feel insatiable hunger, that is the person you should strive. And as a general reading, whichever enterprise you do have an insatiable hunger for, that is the one. That is the one you should go for. But if you do trust universe, okay, and you do not try to control everything around you, you are up to experience an impending change, which is to transcend your daily reality, and is gonna make you freaking love it this time around. So that was Leo. Moving on forward, we do have Virgo. First one for Virgo, Ace of Swords, followed by the Ace of Cups. Moving on next, we do have the Moon. Afterwards, that will be the Three of Wands. And the final one, it's going to be the Ten of Swords. So an unexpected information is to come your way. Maybe through a secret that it is to be revealed, or a document that you had no idea existed. Well, the document is less likely, because under the energy of the Ace of Swords, it happens through a communication. Okay, so basically what happens is that you are to be approached or summoned, right, or basically addressed with a very open and honest conversations that pretty much are going to divulge that information to you one way or another. And that will force you to act in a way that there is no going back from in any way possible. So that you can consider that being the make or the break of one thing or another, the make or the break of certain career paths, the make of the or the break of a certain relationship, the make or the break of entire agenda that you do have. And why that's the case? Well, because this time you will have not a shred of a doubt whether, let's call it that way, that agenda, it's yours or not. Okay, you are gonna have not a shred of a doubt, can it happen or not? And if you do see that it cannot happen, there is no point trying to establish it, right? Or if you see that you cannot reach the very end of it, there is no point pushing forward, right? So despite that you may not like what you will have to do, which you most definitely won't, you will do it no matter what, because you will know that that is for the greater good. Okay. How it could relate as well that, you know, or it could happen that a very best friend of yours divulges that they love you, in a way romantically, and you may hate to break that friendship, but it's now beyond the points of return, right? Once that is said, there is no more friendship. So you may decide to push that person out of your life entirely, or try to establish something beautiful. Both ways, it's not going to be pleasant, but one of those ways is going to be the one that is going to benefit you. So be true to your mind and to your logic. Basically, the lesson that you are to learn here, Virgo, it is that when you do have something established, like patterns, like foundation, all right, inevitably comes a moment where it will wish to go for more, right? And inevitably comes a moment where it will want to expand, and you may not like the direction of expansion, but it is its natural course, and you just have to let it do it. That is what those cards are speaking. So expect a cross of a threshold here, which is natural, meaning that is the only logical move forward, but it's not going to be the one you would wish to be. However, very, very beneficial of yours. Mattia, thank you so much for your 20 US dollars PayPal donation. Thank you, Mattia. Thank you. Make sure that you do stay by the end, where you're gonna have your personalized reading for the full moon in Leo. All right, next we do have Libra. Yeah, they are. Let's hope that Capricorn's going to be a good one. Ace of Pentacles for Libra. Followed by the Lovers. That's going to be a short one. The Hangman. Yeah, that's going to be a short one. So the Hangman, 7 of Wands here. And the 3 of Swords. It's a short one because when the moon becomes full in Leo, basically the unexpected, or expect the unexpected, so to speak, it's going to happen in your perspective, right? It's basically you will see things in a different way, in a different perspective. Yasmin, thank you so much for your 10 US dollars PayPal donation. Thank you, Yasmin. Make sure you do stay by the end. of the stream, where you're gonna have your personalized reading for the full moon in Leo. Just give me a second, guys, here to put Yasmin. To the list. So, like said, the unexpected change is going to be into your perspective here. And I know that Libra is a bit not hesitant, but it has a very difficult time to make up their mind. Well, your perspective will turn into realizing that now it's a bit too late. You already have made your mind, whether through action or through inaction. And luckily for you, it was the right mind. All right. Because this full moon in Leo is going to bring you the rare opportunity to push forward, or rather like to further your grand goal. Again, I want to emphasize on that. This isn't about you being with, for example, Jim, Paul, or Jennifer, right? This isn't about you working for this or that company. This is about you being happy. This is about you being successful. Ham, where, whom with, etc. That is irrelevant to this reading, okay? So, luckily for you, you have made the right call here. And the result of this right call is going to be one of the two things, whether a harmonious relationships, whether friendship relationships, intimate relationships, family relationships, all right? Or very lucrative and successful business ventures moving forward. And that's literally about it, okay? That is what those cards, long story short, are putting for you. It is just they are emphasizing on that at the right at the crucial moment and place you have did the only thing that could be the right thing. Even you may not have even knew that you did that, okay? And that paves your way forward. That is about you, Libra. So enjoy your success, I guess. All right, next we do have Scorpio. Eight of Wands for Scorpio, followed by the Lovers. Moving on forward, we do have the Six of Wands, Four of Swords, and the Nine of Swords. It's a very underwhelming reading for Scorpio in a sense of that. For what those cards are showing, it shouldn't be that of an important transit. I wish it would be, but it isn't, for what it seems. So for Scorpio, it's all about having fun, right? Basically, this full moon in Leo is going to open for us the option to enjoy ourselves, to have peak of experiences, many of them, right? as I am Scorpio, I'm going to give you a few examples with myself. You know, there could be several video games that I will enjoy, so I get to pick which one I'm going to indulge myself with today, which one tomorrow. I can go with many people or go to have coffee. It is just, you know, having your time running pleasant for the duration of the full moon. And the reason why we are going to have all that, it is so we can calm, how can I put it into words, calm ourselves down, or well, actually there are two reasons. One is so we can become more peaceful and more lose the tension, right? Lose the tension from our shoulders. That is one. And the other is because certain concerns we have are going to disappear. Now, that is a disappearing, this is not a resolution, all right? Just to give you an example, say that you owe money to a gangster, right? It's a bully boy that basically extort and is giving you those loans with ridiculous interest, and you are worried you have to pay back, but you don't have the money, and what do you know, they get jailed for let's say a decade. So definitely when they go out, they're gonna ask for their money back, but for at least good 10 years you don't have that problem at your hands, all right? So that is a disappearing for a certain amount of time, but it is not a resolution. And so we can pretty much catch up our breath for that, at least those couple of weeks, and just enjoy ourselves with things which makes us happy. So whatever you have as a peak of experience being, for example, indulging yourself with sweets, sex, anything that makes you feel on the top of the world, and it makes you feel good, allowed. And that Nine of Swords there, I mean, you may think it's gonna be, how can I put it into words? It's gonna spoil you. It won't. Okay. It's basically, what those cards are showing, it is a very, very much needed aspect that we need to indulge into, because we are losing touch with the harmony of ourselves. And we need to restore that through indulging ourselves with those peak of experiences. That is basically the full moon in Leo in regards to Scorpio. All right, so second free reading now, guys. Any one of you who wants to claim the second free reading, you can ask a question into the comments down below. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to do so, and after that I'm going to pick one of your questions and perform a professional reading on it. However, if you do decide to support the stream and the channel through Super Chat, you're going to have your reading at the end of the stream. That's pretty much guaranteed. Well, I think that there is some kind of a flu all around the world. I know that there is it's ravaging England right now, and it is ravaging here as well. So Why not United States also? I mean, with our traveling network, should there be a flu outbreak in one country, it's all around the world. Well, yeah, but unfortunately, I can't help you with that, Jen. A tarot is not designed to read for health. So, Washington City or Washington State? Yeah, well, I know that there was a and there is still a flu outbreak. Washington State, Seattle, eh? I heard that it is a good city. It's a nice city, Seattle. 1.5 minutes, guys, if you do have any questions. Currently none, and if not, I'm just gonna move on to the next 4 star signs. Well, feather, that is by a definition, right? I mean, tomorrow is promised to no one. I guess we do have only one question that qualifies, and what can I expect next in the love depth? All right. Oh, in the love department. All right. Oh my God. All right. I don't know your current situation. Those cards varies a lot depending on how are you finding yourselves into. But What is in common with all kinds of narratives for you, Yoda? You can expect a lot of conflicts, not directly in your love department, but about your love department. For example, I don't know if you are in a relationship right now or not. So let's put it that way. Your love interest. If you don't have one, you are about to. And that will be by... Hold on a second. That will be by the end of the year. By the middle of December this year. So it's a little bit of a long period of time, but it's going to worth it, all right? So, but it seems that only you are going to be the one who likes that one. All right, you do have an interest. Well, that interest is interested in you as well. That's a good. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, I smiled because this is the most trivial situation where your interest, someone else is interested in your interest, all right? And you must prepare yourself for a war, because that person ain't letting go, right? I mean, the interested in your interest, they aren't letting go, and as they are formed by those cards, that's like a pit bull, right? When they bite, they do not let go at all, and they do not follow any rules. That is another thing. Okay, so basically you have to expect pretty much anything from that individual. That could be your interests, current girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever, all right, or current husband or a wife, depending on what your interest has. But definitely there isn't an individual who will stop of nothing to split you apart, so to speak, or to make things very difficult for you both. But by the end of by the middle of December, I'm sorry, it seems that there is going to be a layout. Like, you and your interest are gonna lay out how you do see the future, and can you really be together, depending on what kind of a conclusion you're gonna reach at that point. It will define how you're going to proceed forward. But as thus far, those cards are showing that your interest is interested in you as well. Now, how interested, I cannot say. Definitely is not as interested as to throw everything away and to be with you. So it will need a little bit more time. That is the answer to your question. All right, couple of minutes, guys. And after that, the last 4 star signs, which are going to be Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and after that Pisces. Then the last free reading is going to take place, and at the end, the super chat. So should any one of you decides to support the stream through super chat, you are gonna have a reading at the end of it. That's pretty much guaranteed. Should your super chat be $20 or above, the reading is going to be that very same 5-card spread which I am doing for the star signs. Right, next, Sagittarius. First one for Sagittarius, that will be the Hierophant, followed by the Devil. Moving on, next we do have the Emperor. Oh man, there it is, the Queen of Cups. That will be so difficult for Sagittarius, man. Oh shit. And then it is the Ace of Wands. Thank you, Jasmine. Or Yasmin, so to speak. For another 10 US dollars to make it up for the 5-card spread. Thank you. So, like I said, so difficult for Sagittarius. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, Pisces Moonbeam, but the Sagittarius is one of the 3 signs, right? It's the sign that kind of like explores, is it not? Well, you won't be able to. You won't be able to. We won't be able to. While I am Scorpio, I have a huge stellium in Sagittarius. Sagittarius, I would rather say that Sagittarius is almost as equal in strength as my Scorpio. In some cases even more, because my moon is there as well, alongside with the stellium, all right? So that will go, that is gonna hit me like there is no tomorrow. I'm so not looking forward to it. But bottom line, it is what this reading here it says. It is that as the moon goes full in Leo, we are to Sagittarius, you are to be restricted in motion, in a sense of that there is going to be certain things you must do that you don't want to, but you are gonna have to. And that's why it's going to be difficult, right? You don't want to, you're going to have to, because so we are going to pull up dirt on one another, eh? Well, Pisces Moonbeam, I think that throughout our 7 years of partnership, we have so much dirt to one another that we can fucking bury ourselves with it. Are we not? That was just a joke. So yeah, that's Hierophant on the first, and the Emperor into the third. It kind of speaks that there is only one way how we can sustain and how we can basically not just only sustain but make things happen. The Emperor is all about following structure and managing things in such a way, in that particular narrative, managing things in such a way that there are no ups and downs, but there is one consistent drive moving forward. And because the Devil is into the second position, it means that first, it will feel that we are losing authority. It will feel like we are losing influence, all right? What is going on around us does not depend on us anymore. That's one thing. But the other is that it carries us away from the desired results. Okay? That is what feelings we are going to have. And all this is because, again, expect the unexpected. What? Ace of Wands. Where? Every freaking where. that's these energies are going to manifest through a enterprises which are going to appear every freaking where, like I said, and we will have to accustom and adapt to it. The Hierophant pretty much represents the environment under which this is going to happen, or the environment where that's going to hit us, and it's going to hit us exactly where we feel comfortable, secured, reliable, peaceful, trustful. Okay, so that may be in your marriage, it may be into your career, and the recipe of powerhousing through it is reminding yourself why you are into it in the first place. Okay, so we have to remember our goal, and regardless of the current circumstances, we must push forward. We must remember our goal and let the lights of it illuminate the darkness we will find ourselves into that full moon in Leo. And it's going to be difficult for Sagittarius, like I said, because it will feel like we are told what we have to do, or we are shown what we have to do, rather than we are to dictate and experiment and try and see what's going to be best for us to do. Right, so that was Sagittarius. Now next we do have Capricorn. Yeah, you know better. Well, I'm gonna go against Capricorn either. I don't know if I'm gonna win the quarrel or not, but I had more quarrels with you that I would like to know that it's just not worth the hassle, in a sense of it's not worth not the hassle, but the not the inconvenience. It's just it's so difficult, and at the end of the day you basically have the Five of Swords, where if you do win, it kind of didn't worth it. Okay, so that's why it's best not to have one. All right, Capricorn. Well, I can speak only from my personal experience. Going in a quarrel with Scorpio, it is just or at least I am disconcerted. Let me give you that example, guys. You press me for something, and in that very moment, I am willing to give up everything, right? For example, let's say we are together, right? We are in a relationship, and you press me with an ultimatum. I am willing to sacrifice that relationship, but I am not gonna oblige to the ultimatum whatsoever, right? I just emotionally detach from everything, and I don't give a dime what's gonna happen. That's how I assume all Scorpio are. Yeah, that's another thing. But it is just that, or maybe that comes from my Aquarius rising with Jupiter there. I don't know, but it's just how I am, right? We may be in a business who does millions, but as soon as you kind of like press me on my toe and you put my back against the wall, I'm willing to burn it down, all right? I'm gonna burn it down with you without a flicker of without my eye flinching. It's gone, right? That is at least how I do operate. Capricorn, from my experience, they just don't let go, right? They just don't let go. They always come for more until you basically give up. And that's why I said that at the end of the day, it will be a long process. Even if you end up on top, it's going to be a long process, very exhausting for you. And even if you end up on top, you have wasted so much time, energy, efforts that it would have been better for you to walk away. we're not talking only about arguments here, Jen. Also kind of like a tangible quarrels where there are actually things being at stake, right? All right, Capricorn. First one, that will be the King of Pentacles. Yeah, Mattia, and it comes about a time where the universe gives you the means to do justice for yourself, and you see that as a justice from the universe, right? The second one is going to be the Strength, followed by the Six of Swords. Moving on, next we do have the Knight of Cups. And the final one, that's going to be the Hermit. Remember that meme, Pisces Moonbeam, where, what was it? Aries and Scorpio are talking about revenge. Remember that meme? It's kind of like chatting about revenge, where Aries is kind of like boosting, or how do you call it? Soliciting Scorpio to go for a revenge on someone, and Scorpio is saying, yeah, you know, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna wait something to happen, and then we are going to do our revenge. And Aries says, yeah, but it may take 10 years. And Scorpio says, well, it's gonna take as much as it's gonna take. And Aries leaves the chat because Aries doesn't have that much patience for 10 years. Yeah. Same with me, Mattia. And that's about valid with every star sign, by the way. Trust is not about the star signs, it's about morals. Yeah, let's wait 10 years until they forget that we exist, right? And then it's gonna hurt even more, and Aries just leaves the chat because he has no patience. Yeah. No, well, that depends, Anna. Sometimes it's better, yes, but sometimes it's just basically people has to pay. All right, people when people do wrong, they has to pay because they're gonna do wrong now on you. You're gonna move on. They're gonna do wrong to someone else, and then to someone else, and then to someone else. They have to pay. People have to pay for what they're doing. All right, back to Capricorn. That is when it hurts the most. Well, even if that's true, I prefer to be the harbinger of karma. All right, I prefer to be the harbinger of one. So back to Capricorn, because of that strength being into the second position, this full moon in Leo for you, Capricorn, is gonna be quite unnerving in a sense of that it will be just tendering. I don't know how to put it into words. It will feel like you are on the edge with your emotions and with your passion all the time. It is like expecting something important to take place, while in the same time you will fully realize that at this stage is better not to happen because there is still more preparations to be done. So basically, your full moon in Leo, or expect the unexpected, it's the can I put it into words? It's the reveal that there are more preparations to be exerted before actually an important future to be revealed in front of you. I don't know how to truly explain it. It's a very, so to speak, a spiritual read. Basically, the cards are putting into that whatever strive you have, whatever agenda you do have, maybe to establish business, maybe to be with someone or to buy a house, whatever the case, right? It's just you are not quite ready. You're almost there, but not quite at that point. One for certain that you lack is ultimate determination. All right, so basically you still have doubts, are you going to succeed or not, and therefore you may be leaving kind of like a backup plan or a back door for you to return at the starting point, which is according to these cards at least, a wrong mindset, so to speak. And until you kind of like put a determination that you will move forward, being guided by the dreams of your heart, the dreams of your heart are never gonna take place, right? They are not never, but at least at that stage, they are not gonna take place. You know, you may have a dream to establish business, but you're not doing everything in that regard because you don't want to lose your job. Say that you have to establish a business, but in order to do so, you have to quit your job, but you don't want to because you will feel insecure. Well, then you are not going to establish a business, right? So there will be a certain risk involved here, or at least seemingly a risk involved here. That's if you want the dreams of your heart to take place as soon as possible, you will have to take it. If those cards are to be believed, at the end of the day, though, guys, you should do what suits you best, because I am not going to be the one who will bear the consequences of your risk taking, right? That's a general read at the end of the day. But the energies which are supporting you, no matter the situation you're finding yourself into, there will be always a way forward. It's kind of like there will be always a light that shines for you there into the darkness. So to me, you Capricorn have to think very, very carefully what you are willing to invest about everything you got, or what worth your investment into, and scale it up to, how can I put it into words, to your regret. Think of it that way. If I do invest and I fail, am I gonna regret trying? And if you realize that you won't going to regret trying, then do it. All right, that was Capricorn. Now moving next, we do have Aquarius. Seven of Cups for Aquarius, with the Eight of Cups, with the Page of Swords, with the Three of Wands, with the King of Cups. Now imagine the universe, it's a person. Imagine that full moon in Leo is a person, and you are having a friend chat, chit chat with that person, and you kind of share what you want to be. All right, you do share what you want to take place, what you want to happen, and that person tells you it sounds crazy. I know, but you know what? You do have my freaking blessing. So expect the unexpected, Aquarius. The unexpected good fortune, it's about to be bestowed upon you, kind of like the saving grace of the Scorpio reading and the Sagittarius reading, at least for me. My rising Aquarius, Jupiter is there. That is at least for me. But yeah, for Aquarius, a very unexpected good fortune is about to take place into their lives. Career-wise, a help is coming, or a problematic wise, right? Or should you have any kind of problems, a help is coming from the least expected place of yours. Okay. Just to give you an example, say you are in a very bad spot with your family. Okay, you do not talk with your father if they, or your mother. You just don't talk with your parents if they're amongst us, or your siblings, cousins, etc., etc., and you are facing a severe predicament, and suddenly they call you and tell you, why didn't you call earlier, man? I mean, I can help you, and I will help you with it. We may have our grievances, but at the end of the day, we are family, and that's what family does. It sticks together. It could be from the least expected coworker at work, where you're gonna get that help. It is just with a tangible thing. It's about the help that is gonna come about, right? That will allow you to make the impossible now very, very possible. On the emotional field, this is when it's again, it's impossible. It is like, you know, a person that's in the material world, you cannot be together, but yet you do find a way to do so. I don't know how to explain it there. It's like you just find a way. I don't know how to put it into words. But what happens here is that the universe, for us, Aquarius, it's gonna offer us a way forward to make, like I said, that crazy thing we want to happen possible in a tangible world, again through a help in the spiritual world, is going to be through, I don't know the English word for it. That is when you do, basically, you believe that it can take place, and you just abstract yourself from anything that can come out of it in a negative. That is like, for example, two people want to be together and they decide, okay, we're going to be together no matter what will be destroyed in the process of it, or what is going to come out of it in the process of it. That is like a sheer determination, isn't it not? But it's going to be through a purge. So there will be an aspect that will purge. That is the spiritual aspect of it, all right? So there will be things which are going to be burned down. Friendships, situations, problems as well, and so on and so forth. And all that you need to do, Aquarius, is to embrace that change. All right, so that was Aquarius, and now moving on, next we do have Pisces. Yeah, it's so sweet, is it not, Shakti? The Emperor for Pisces, followed by the Three of Wands. Moving on next, that's going to be the Knight of Wands. With the Queen of Wands. With the Devil. All right, Pisces. So what will be the unexpected aspect for you? That you are going to be made aware of how, well, that is very, that's different for each one of you, all right? But either through example, through circumstances, or just someone is going to tell you that you're going to be made aware of that, unfortunately, guys, you are not as far as you think you are. And it does require more work, all right? It requires more of a hard work to get to the point which you want to be at. Like to get to the point where your business is successful, to get to the point where your marriage is stable, to get to the point to enjoy your holiday, for example, whatever the point, whatever point you want to get to. Again, you are not as far as you think you are. In what way? Well, for what those cards are showing here, there is definitely a better way to do things. There is definitely a better way, you know, to date the person you want to date. There is definitely a better way to handle your tasks at work. There is definitely a better way to study, for example. There is definitely a better way to establish your business. It's just there is a better way, more enterprising way, more pleasant way, more interesting way than a way that feels like a chore. Because it looks like that way, okay? And so how you're going to find it? Through exploiting, okay? You see the weak points, whether in a person, whether in a situation. It may feel unethical to you, but you do exploit it. Because the best way, it is the shortest one, and it is the most efficient one. And if you see weakness and you exploit that weakness in your competition, well, that's the shortest way to, you know, bring your competition to your knees. Not just only your competition, but the situation, whatever the case. So, you, under normal circumstances, Pisces, you are gifted with a tremendous amount of power. I don't know why you are afraid to use it, but you should, into the upcoming couple of weeks. So your presence is gonna speak, your actions are gonna speak, and you should make full advantage of that, right? Bottom line is that if you do play your cards right into the upcoming couple of weeks, you will be able to structure your environment in such a way that you will face the ups and downs of your business or of your love life with so much better that there will be no problem for you. I mean, the downs are not going to be any problem for you. However, the ups are going to be amplified twice, threefold, maybe tenfold as well. And another call here from those cards, it's a call for more a personal experience, in a sense of that you should kind of like spare some personal time aside to do what you like. Watching a movie by yourself, you know, or playing a video game if that's your thing, for example, reading a book, or just taking a walk by yourself amongst nature to recuperate and just to have a good time on your own. All right, that was Pisces. And now the last free reading is going to take place. Should any one of you want to have a free reading with me, now is the moment you can ask a question into the comments down below. And in about 5 minutes, Pisces Moonbeam is going to pick one of your questions and is going to, and I am going to perform a professional reading on that question. After that, the super chat readings are going to take place. Anyone who had supported and decided to support the stream and the channel through super chat, you guys are going to have a reading at the end of it. That's pretty much guaranteed. And should your super chat be $20 US or above, the reading is going to be that very same 5-card spread which is for the star signs. Good night, Shakti. You're welcome, Susie. It's from the Pluto was about the transformation and kind of like changing things, right? Like adapting, so to speak. That explains a lot of things. Well, Jen, you already had it twice on that particular question. I'm going to receive any different answer. Yeah. All right, Carol, if I stay in the same path, is it the right one? Oh, you pick Anna. All right. So, Anna, where is Anna's question? All right. Is Erin a genuine? I'm gonna take the both questions now because I picked one. Is Erin a genuine good friend to me, or is she back to plot revenge? All right. Those are the cards, Anna. Revenge? No. She is around to take whatever she can get, for the lack of better words. Not by force, though. Only if you do allow it. Okay? So, take it that way. She does have a... Well, you can have a mutual use of one another. That is the reason why she's around and why she came back. But the biggest reason is that she is around for the shits and giggles, so to speak, just for another friend, that's all. It's for another person to have a good time with, and if can establish something tangible as well. So no, it's not about revenge. It's not about revenge by a large margin. But if she plays the best friend of yours, don't believe it. It's just not true. All right, so Caro, now the path she chose is the right one. Well, you do have those three cards, Caro. It's definitely the one that there is no going back from. All right, so you chose it. You will have to stick with it. I mean, you will have to roll with it whatsoever. There is literally no going back from. It's a minor path, meaning that whatever comes out of it's not going to be irreparable. And it's a path which, while it's a path which, while it's not going to be pleasant to walk, okay, it's going to be, it's going to have its fair share of inconveniences, for a lack of a better word. It's a path that will allow you to materialize the ambition which drove you to take on that path. So basically, it will be not for nothing, right? But actually, it will bear the fruits you want it to bear. It's a question of how much you're gonna pay for it, right? Ultimately, the rewards are gonna be bigger than the efforts, but that is relative. So, in my book, it is, because it's beneficial at the end of the day. All right, the super chat now. Ah, no, she won't. Yeah, my mom is Scorpio, and she's anything but like me, right? She's anything but like me. As much as I am callous and unnerving and detached, for a lack of a better word, that much she's emotional and careful and how can I put it into words? Compassionate and so on and so forth. All right, Ashley. Your card, Ashley, that will be the Queen of Pentacles. Go and draw you one more. The Eight of Cups. Because it's your birthday. So we have a passive supporters, passive friends, I'm sorry, as a elemental dignity. And that elemental dignity breeds improvements into your current situations. Love situations, business situations, into your current situation. So the full moon in Leo for you, Ashley, is going to, figuratively speaking, is going to show you that things are not lost, for a lack of a better word, but there is a potential in there. Only if you look past the unsatisfiable, so to speak, circumstances. Just to give you an example, say that you have been denied promotion right now at your work. Well, if you look past it, you will kind of like see that while you may not got that current promotion, the future is gonna offer you a bigger one, right? So there is even bigger potential moving forward. And that will give you the incentive to stick with what you already have. That will give you the incentive to try and make it more, make it bigger, and you will, right? You will, because the future holds a much better perspectives into your current enterprises, to your current marriage if you do have one, into your current relationship if you do have one, into your current love interest if you do have one, business, job, everything. Okay, so you have what you need. It all comes to that to develop it. Thank you, Nova Brand. Thank you for your kind words. All right, Jasmine. She is Pisces moon. She is Pisces moon, sun, Capricorn sun, and Aries rising. Now that I think of, Three different elements. Three different elements. Yasmin H. That's not your reading. Your reading is going to be the very last one. Now it's Jasmine Miller's reading, okay? Because there are, it's just you do have the very same name, right? So now it's Jasmine Miller's, then it's Anna, then it's Mattia, and then it's you, Yasmin. All right, Jasmine, let's check it out. Well, Pisces Moonbeam, then you're blessed, aren't you? I reckon people would kill to have that blessing. Them to be surrounded by Scorpio. All right, so those are your cards. We do have the World, followed by the Ten of Cups. Moving on next, that will be the Two of Pentacles, followed by the Two of Swords. And the final one is going to be the Six of Wands. For you, Jasmine. So that full moon well, Jasmine, I can safely say that that's a trend, all right? I mean, every chart, I don't know what defines it. Yeah, my 3 as well. Because I am Scorpio Sun. Yeah, my 3 as well. Oh my god. Water, air, and fire. Yeah. So that's a trend. I don't know. Currently, I am going through an astrology course, which is only focused on relationship astrology, and basically says that women, their Mars defines what kind of a man they are going to be attached to, and they're going to be more prone to fall for, while for men, their Venus is showing that. I still don't know what configurations actually displaying it, but for me, the prominent women which I am most attracted to are Cancer and Pisces. Okay, it's just strong Cancer woman or strong Pisces woman. It's just I get attracted to. I don't know. I just can't control it, right? So it's a trend. It's a pattern. Anyway, back to Jasmine's reading. This full moon in Leo for you, Jasmine, is going to be a full moon of peace. Of peace and indulgence as well. Now, it all will depend on your mindset, how big of an indulgence. I want to emphasize on those two cards, right? Hold on a second here. On those two cards, the Ten of Cups and the Two of Pentacles, which representatively they sit on the second and the third position. So what those cards basically, both of them divulge, it is that around you. No, I'm not saying that because your Mars is in Libra you have to fall for Libra, but there is a certain configurations, probably, I'm not for certain, that define, because my Mars is where my Mars is in Capricorn, was it not? I don't remember where my Mars was, but I definitely, it is not neither in Pisces nor in Cancer, but I fall for those signs. So there are configurations, but where your Mars is, that does not define it, right? Maybe some trines, or maybe some sextiles, or some minor aspects. I don't know. That is just my personal theory. In any case, no, Anna, he isn't, I think. So, Jasmine, like I said, the mindset here, it is all about changing your perspective about your current situation, or adopting a perspective. Is in Capricorn, yeah. And up until this point, I had nothing to do with the... I mean, you are the only Capricorn woman I know, and we're definitely not romantically involved, all right? So that's not that's not it. It's something else about the Mars, right? It's some kind of an aspect. It could be with an asteroid, whatever the case. But for what had been told, some kind of configurations which we haven't studied yet about Mars and Venus, they define, well, not my Mars, my Venus. My Venus is in Scorpio, right? So yeah, some kind of a configurations are putting it. So back to Jasmine. Bottom line here, Jasmine, is that those cards are showing that as things are right now, you can be entirely fulfilled as they stand. And basically the cards are showing that this full moon in Leo will show you the blessings you are sitting on in their full extent, in their full glare, so to speak, which is going to do two things for you. Now, first, it is that you will end up being very peaceful about your current situation, about, you know, in generally your status, for example, your job, your current romantic life, for as much as you have it. And the second thing which is going to do for you, Jasmine, is that it will make you very hopeful. Well, let's put it that way. It will make you believe that the next perspective coming your way is going to be one of the best perspectives you are going to have in your life. And that is truly going to be the case. And the only thing that you have to do in order that to happen is just to wait. So this this full moon for you is all about self-indulgence and having a faith in the universe that the best is yet to come, because it is about to. Now, another reason why you should hold down your horses, in a sense of, you know, just doing nothing, for the lack of a better word, or not making any tangible advices moving forward, is because of that Six of Wands into the last position for you, Jasmine. That card pretty much speaks that you are going to reap rewards here, and if you are constantly on the move, you will not gonna have the time for you to do so. So I don't know what you are working, but you can expect throughout this couple of weeks, starting from the 5th of February, to be accoladed for what you are doing in your business, to be, for example, I don't know about promotion, but definitely some kind of a bonus is gonna come up your way, or in an incentive for such. It's just rewards are gonna come your way for the job that you have done thus far, especially if things had finalized recently. In terms of your love life here, that may not be the best cycle, but even if things doesn't work out for you in terms of love, your mindset will change in a way that, you know, although things didn't work out, the best is yet to come, and therefore a better perspective is gonna show up in the future, and it will, because with that Two of Swords here at the fourth position, that is the reason and the lesson that we need to learn. That is that the right thing happens at the right time, at the right moment. Basically, everything lingers in the void for each one of us, and when the time is right, it happens, and is going to happen for you as well. So just here, enjoy the fruits of your labor. That is how that full moon in Leo stands for you, because what awaits you, it's a huge culmination of things, and if you are constantly on a move, you will miss your chance to enjoy it. All right, next we do have Anna. All right, Anna, those are your cards. We do have Two of Pentacles with the Four of Pentacles, with the Five of Pentacles, sorry, with the Hierophant. Then it is the Lovers. And the final one, that will be the Eight of Pentacles. Well, Anna, this full moon is more like a guidance and as well a warning. It's not a bad warning, though. The warning it is that no matter what you do, Anna, you cannot fight fate. All right, you cannot fight fate, and it regards to results that you are currently sitting on that you may consider a bad results or inefficient results, but that is just only your consideration, and we can see that with the Five of Pentacles. It is basically your sight, your view on a current statuses of yours. It's just incorrect, okay? And the more you try to change it, the more you try to improve it, the worse the situation becomes. So what you need to change, it's your plan about it, your perspective about it, so to speak, and just try to be as harmonious as possible with the enterprise. You may not like, for example, as you mentioned, which is the situation with your son, right? That you mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, but it already happened, right? You may not like it, but it is there, and now you have to just change your perspective about it, that it's, for example, it was a lesson, and your son learned a lesson, and so on and so forth. Here, it's not you aligning the situation to you, it's more like you aligning yourself according to the situation, or making the use out of what the situation gives you, so to speak. So bottom line, in terms of a business here, Anna, this is where you, can I put it into words? You do not define the target, but it is like, see what the business defines you as a target, and you adapt in regards to it. But in terms of a personal relationships, when it doesn't matter if they're intimate relationships or a friendships, it's about building trust in the next couple of weeks. And that is because you asked the question here in one of the free readings, Anna. this is going to be the couple of weeks where you will see, can you trust that person, that friend that came back or not. And the final guidance here, it is that in those couple of weeks, 5th to, let me see when, 5th to 19th, 5th to 20th of February, okay, the circumstances will allow you to initiate a plan or a preparation you thus far made, and it will feel premature to you, right? It's not going to be in an ideal place, it's not going to be the ideal time, but something within you is going to tell you that now is the moment. It's either now or never, right? And that should be your perspective as well. Change that you must be in harmony with the universe. What that means is that when you have the chance, you take it. Should you happen to fall in love or to start dating into the next couple of weeks, you will be surprised to see that it's not as bad as you may think it would be. Okay, this is just as much as I'm gonna say. You will be pleasantly surprised to see that you like the thing, right? It's not as bad as you hoped, right away hoped to be. All right, Mattia, you are next. You're welcome, Anna. Those are the 5 cards for you, Mattia. 9 of Wands, 3 of Wands, Temperance, Ace of Swords, 9 of Pentacles. Most likely, I cannot say for certain, but most likely that will relate, or rather like this full moon is going to be all about you and your relationship with others. Probably it refers to your business. Most likely it does refer to your business here or to your job. So what happens, it is smoothing up the differences. So throughout these couple of weeks, you and the people that you are working with, you will start pinpointing the aspects of the project or of the work or of the friendships, because it may be with your friends as well, that it is more of a tug of war. Okay, if you pull into one direction, your business partner or your friend is kind of like resisting, putting in another direction. It's very difficult to find a common ground. And while you know the tangible aspect of the business or of the friendship is moving forward, it feels like you are not on the same page how you want to move forward. And while everything is ready, it's just you can't make a step, right? You just can't make a progression. And so that is going to be the aspect here. It's just readjusting the environment, reshaping, you know, the plan, if you will, or the to-go list, or in generally the how do you put it into words, the pattern, so it can suit everyone. And that will happen through a quite open interaction, for a lack of a better word. It's just probably you're going to sit on your on a table, you and your business partners or you and your friends, and you're just going to lay out everything. And that way you all are gonna know how you stand. You all are gonna know what expectations there are and all these kind of stuff. And that way you will know the true diagnosis of where the whole situation is and how can be resolved, all of you. And that way you may not have to be agree with one another, but there will be a respect and solidarity, and therefore through a compromise, that is very important here, through a compromise, a cumulative, or rather like a collective path forward is to be picked. Which path will allow your friendships or your business to make a huge leap into a development. So that is like smoothing up the differences just before you dive in the depths, or rather like into the depths. You dive deep into a development, so you don't have any problems afterwards. But one is certain here, Mattia, there is a solution, or not just only solution, but a path of progress that can suit every single party, your friends, you, your family, etc., etc. And it will come to your understanding what that path is. It all comes to that for you to align to it and take it. And by the way, I don't know if you are up for a dating, but if you are, it's very likely that you may meet someone that is gonna pose interest to you as well. It may not be the perfect person, but it will have a potential. All right, Yasmin H, you're reading now. All right, those are your cards, Yasmin. We have the Five of Wands. The Magician. How it is business, the business interpretation then, Mattia? The King of Cups. The Six of Wands. And a final one that's going to be the Page of Wands. Well, Yasmin, that is a pretty short one. It is because it's very telegraphed. It is very concrete, so to speak. You are going to receive an offer into the upcoming couple of weeks. An offer that will relate, or is going to be about, a field of your life which is, let's put it that way, almost destroyed. Say that is just, for example, say you are about to lose your job. You know you are about to lose your job, or you don't have a job at all, right? And you are almost in the brink of your finances. You don't know how you are going to pay rent next month, or how you are going to meet ends. That is just for example. And out of nowhere, a job offer comes. Okay, that is going to resolve those issues. Same thing, for example, it may play out in terms of your love life. You know, your marriage is on the rock and it is on a verge of breaking, and suddenly, you know, your spouse have a proposal for you how to save your marriage. It is basically a proposal to make a reversal, to save what is about to end, to save what is about to be extinguished, what is about to be annihilated, so to speak. And it will be scary. It will be scary because you may feel not ready for it at all. It will feel very rushed, for a lack of better words. And on top of that, it will feel that it is taking away a lot of your, so to speak, sovereignty and a personal freedom as well. It's like you will have to obey by the rules rather than to make the rules. But if it is what it have to be, if it is what it takes for you to sustain and to save, then that's what you must do. Remember, that is something you have a choice to either take or deny, whichever one you do decide. Although in such a follow-up, Tarot is advising that there is literally no reason for you to deny it unless you decide to make some kind of an excuse. But if you do decide to take on the offer, the experience is going to be unlike anything you had up until this point. Okay, so for example, if that offer is to save your marriage after the save is going to be unlike the tumultuous relationship you had up until this point. So this is a complete change within the enterprise, all right? Complete change within the enterprise. Same thing about the job or friendships or whatever. And the offer or a proposal or whatever the case, you know, it will feel like a gift, but it isn't. It is because you deserve it, right? So you may, I'm saying that because when it comes, you may feel obliged, like that you do, like you do owe something, like you owe something to the one who offered you the job or to your spouse. You ain't owing anything, right? You do deserve a second or a last chance, whichever way that manifests for you. Just don't try to force your points across, or how can I put it into words, to have it your way, at least at the start of the process. That is a certain way how it's going to crumble, because again, you are offered, and if you want to take the offer carries on certain entitlements, right? It entitles you to something, and before you can enforce your view, you have to live up to the entitlements that the offer carries on. So with that said, guys, this concludes the super chat readings, and that's gonna do it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I wish to all of you a happy full moon in Leo. Expect the unexpected, like Pisces Moonbeam said. And while the circumstances surrounding it, like we all saw from the tarot readings as well, may not be the best circumstances, all right? Ultimately, at the end, like we said, because Uranus is going to square the moon, ultimately at the end is going to play out for the best, whether it's going to liberate us or is going to give us a second chance. So yeah, with that said, thank you so much for participating. Thank you so much for your generosity. And we are going to see each other next time. Until then, bye.